अभिसंबुद्धो पच्चन्यासिं ज्ञानञ्च पनमेदसनं उदपादि अकुप्पामे चेतो विमुक्ति अयमन्तिमा जाति नत्तिदानी पुनर्भवोति। इदमवोच भगवा आत्मना पञ्चवक्या भिक्खु भगवतो भासितं अभिनन्दन्ति। इमस्मिञ्च पनवेयाकरणस्मिन् भञ्जमाने आयस्मतो कुण्डन्यस्य विरजं वीतमलं धम्मचक्कुम् उदपादि यं किञ्चि समुदयधम्मं सब्बं तं निरोध धम्मन्ति। पवत्तिते च पन भगवता धम्मचक्रे भूमा देवा सद्मनुस्सावेषु एतं भगवता वाराणसीयं इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन्ति भूमानं देवानं सद्दं सुत्वा चातुं महाराजिका देवा सद्मनुस्सावेषु एतं भगवता वाराणसीयं इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन्ति चातुं महाराजिकानं देवानं सद्दं सुत्वा तावतीं सा देवा सद्मनुस्सावेषु एतं भगवता वाराणस्यां इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन् तावतिंसानं देवानं सद्दं सुत्वा यामा देवा सद्मनुस्सावेसुम् एतं भगवता वाराणस्यां इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन् यामानं देवानं सद्दं सुत्वा तुसिता देवा सद्मनुस्सावेसुम् एतं भगवता वाराणस्यां इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन् तुसितानं देवानं सद्दं सुत्वा निम्मानरति देवा सद्मनुस्सावेसुम् एतं भगवता वाराणस्यां इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन् निम्मानरतीनं देवानं सद्दं सुत्वा परनिम्मितवसवत्तिनो देवा सद्मनुस्सावेसुम् एतं भगवता वाराणस्यां इसिपत्ने मिगदाये अनुत्तरं धम्मचक्रं पवत्तितं अपतिवत्यं समनेन वा ब्राह्मणेन वा देवेन वा मारेण वा ब्रह्मणा वा केनचिवा लोकस्मिन् පරනිම්මිත වසවත්තේනං දේවානං සද්දං සුත්වා බ්‍රහ්මපාරේ සජ්ජා දේවා සද්ද මනුස්සාවේසුම් ඒතං භගවතා වාරාණසියං ඉසිපතනේ මිගදායේ අනුත්තරං ධම්මචක්කං පවත්තිතං අප්පතේවත්තියං සමනේන වා බ්‍රාහ්මනේන වා මාරේන වා බ්‍රහ්මුණා වා කේන චීවා ලෝකස්මින් තේ බ්‍රහ්මපාරේ සජ්ජානං දේවානං සද්දං සුත්වා බ්‍රහ්ම පුරෝහිතා දේවා සද්ද මනුස්සාවේසුම් ඒතං භගවතා වාරාණසියං ඉසිපතනේ මිගදායේ අනුත්තරං ධම්මචක්කං පවත්ති
Ayubowan. Greetings to you from Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, and I would like to welcome you all to DHYANA the Vesak program. So we are at the dawn of the Vesak full moon Poya day, and of all the Poya days, Vesak full moon is very important as it marks 3 important events of Sakyamuni Buddha. It was on a day like this that the birth, the enlightenment or the nirvana, and the great passing away, the Mahaparinirvana of Sakyamuni Buddha took place. So the whole world celebrates Vesak Poya for these important events. And today we all have come together to celebrate these 3 events in a very meaningful way. And we have invited one of the most suitable person who follows the path of Buddha and also who support others to follow the same with his kind guidance. I would humbly like to welcome our beloved Dhamma teacher, Mr. Upul Gamage, for this event. So before we start our event, let me take a few minutes to give you a brief introduction about us, the Ashtanga Yoga Mandir. Ashtanga Yoga Mandir is a center for traditional yogic knowledge. Yoga is famous for yoga asana practices, but if you take the traditional yoga, it has 4 main pillars: yoga asana, pranayama, relaxation, and meditation. So in Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, we conduct free workshops like this to enhance the yogic knowledge of these 3 main aspects. And also we conduct regular yoga classes, a variety of yoga classes for corporate, for ladies and senior citizens, and also kids yoga. And also Ashtanga Yoga Mandir represents Sri Lanka in the Asian Yoga Therapy Conference. So without further ado, let me invite Amal Vikramasinghe, a member of Ashtanga Yoga Mandir, to welcome the speaker of the day. Over to you, Amal.
Ayubowan, welcome to everybody and a great evening to all of you. So today we are gathered here before the Vesak full moon Poya day, and we have our Dhamma teacher, Mr. Upul Nishantha Gamage, with us today. So the program name goes as the message of the lotus flower, the Buddha's teaching for ultimate happiness. So to give a little bit of introduction about our resource person, Mr. Upul. So Mr. Upul Nishantha Gamage, present resident meditation teacher, has been guiding thousands of people from different backgrounds who come to Nilambe to practice meditation. Upul sir has started meditation at 13 years of age, and in the late 80s, he had offered to help with the activities at the meditation center. Ever since, he has been a very dear friend and an outstanding Dhamma teacher for thousands of people who attend programs conducted by him, also many others who are yet to attend his programs, and a counselor for those who are in need of counseling. He is regularly invited to conduct meditation retreats in Hong Kong, Germany, Switzerland, and Sweden. According to his teaching, practice of meditation paves the path to help ourselves, to understand ourselves, and to change ourselves to better as we are becoming more and more mindful about all our day-to-day activities. Moreover, Upul sir's great ability to speak to our hearts and practical and philosophical way of presenting Dhamma has enormous power to make us practice meditation in a very joyful manner. So we are privileged to have Mr. Upul sir, and I am privileged to introduce Mr. Upul sir at the beginning of the year to the first DHYANA program, which happened at Durutu Poya Day, before the Durutu Poya Day. So he is the person who opened the first DHYANA program for 2021, and we are very much privileged that we could get his time to attend today's Dhamma program as well. So I welcome on behalf of everybody at Ashtanga Yoga Mandir and everybody who has gathered here to take us through the journey. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening, my dear friends, and maybe good morning for some of my dear friends. First, let me express my respect, gratitude towards the Ashtanga Yoga Mandir in Colombo to invite me to participate to this DHYANA evening once again. We all are facing to a lot of challenges now, today, not only you and me, less or more the entire world. And the direction the world goes to materialistic achievements with money, with the modern science and technology. Because of all those happenings, now human world is taking an U-turn, consciously or unconsciously, towards the ancient wisdom. And therefore, I highly believe this, that the authentic yoga philosophy and authentic yoga practice have to play very important role in this critical period to guide this helpless human society towards the truth, the real protection, and to where humans have to go. So I know you are doing a great service, dear Ashtanga Yoga Mandir Master Sir, and all the staffs and yoga instructors. Therefore, I am really glad to be with you once again. And let us begin this DHYANA evening with short guided meditation. You can sit in whatever posture you are sitting now or you are like to sit. And please relax your body. It is easier to relax the mind if you know how to relax the body. Our body feels the happiness whenever we pay our gentle and friendly attention to the body. physically we are far away from each other, but somehow we are interconnected. We are not separated. We all are like members of one spiritual family. We all are spiritual brothers and sisters, friends. Can we feel this interconnectedness? Can we feel this mutual friendliness? Let our heart feel this spiritual network. Spiritually, we are not alone. Let us feel the happiness with our hearts. Let us now share this inner happiness with all who are here physically with us, who are physically close to us, and who are psychologically and emotionally close to us. And who are known to us, also unknown to us. May all be happy. May all be able to find their inner happiness. May all be able to find their inner happiness wherever they are. by experiencing the network of the happiness. We may open our eyes now. Thanks, my dear friends, for your beautiful contribution to this short meditation on happiness. As all of us know that tomorrow is one of the very deep, touching days, especially for Buddhist countries, especially for traditional Buddhists, because of Vaishaka and Buddha Purnima. And we believe this tomorrow is one of the most significant days in the Buddha's biography. He came to this world in 2600, more than 2600 years ago, through a royal family. And that royal family was waiting and waiting and waiting for a son. But they didn't have a son, therefore they have done all kinds of mysterious things to have a child, have a son. And finally, they had a son. And father, King Suddhodana, he was so happy. He was so happy. He has a son, child, newly born son. And maybe as a politician, he was thinking about the continuation of this power. Anyhow, he invited to a couple of genius astrologers to come to his palace to make the horoscope of this newborn baby. And 8 astrologists came to the palace. And then the King Suddhodana, father, told them, please make the horoscope for my one and only son, this newborn child, and I want to know about the future. And they went to an inner chamber, one of the inner chambers, and king was waiting at the royal assembly. And he was waiting and waiting and waiting for hours and hours and hours. He was impatient. And after a long time, they came back. And then the king asked, tell me about the future of my son. Actually, I think he wanted to know about his future, what is going to happen to his dreams. So, as all of us. And then 7 astrologers, they raised up 2 fingers like this, 2 fingers out of 8. And the king said, I couldn't understand your language. I'm just an ordinary politician. So what is the message? What is the symbol of these 2 fingers? Then they said, your son is a very powerful person. His future is like this. Either he will become a Chakravarti. Chakravarti, I think you know, Chakravarti means the leader of the entire world, a moral leader. I think it makes King Suddhodana so happy. So either he will become a Chakravarti, the leader of the entire world, not only your province and not only this country and not only this continental, to the entire world, or he became a better Buddha. And it doesn't make King Suddhodana happy at all. It doesn't make him happy at all. And then the last astrologist, he's the youngest one. He only raised up 1 single finger and he said, no, it is very definite. Definitely, he will become a Buddha. He's not going to leader in this world. He's not a politician. And King Suddhodana was so angry with this prediction. And I think the king cancelled this youngest astrologist license. This youngest astrologist's name is Kondanya. And therefore, the history doesn't say anything about him after that. He went to a forest and became a sannyasi just after this. Anyhow, the story goes further. And what happens is, King Suddhodana was in a deep conflict now. He doesn't like, he's not a religious person at all, and not a spiritual one either. So he was thinking and thinking and thinking how to solve this problem. And then he thought, why a young man is going to woods, to a forest, to become a beggar, to become a sannyasi, to become a monk. Why? Because of suffering, because of disappointments, because of depression, because of sadness, because of troubles. So he thought that he has to create an artificial environment which gives all kinds of comforts and luxuries to his son. So the history says that he built 3 palaces for 3 seasons, and everything was there. Everything was there. Whatever a teenage or young one needs to enjoy the life. So all kinds of requirements are there. And actually this prince, his family name is Gautama and given name is Siddhartha. Siddhartha means one who is fulfilling the deep meaning of life, Siddhartha. So this young Gautama or Prince Gautama or Prince Siddhartha, he was enjoying all kinds of sensual pleasures. And later on, he had a very nice wife called Bimba or Yasodhara, and she was so lovely and so kind and so good-hearted person. And they had a very good marriage life as well. But you know, you can imagine the situation if you have everything, whatever you want, even you don't have to ask. Before you ask, all kinds of requirements come to you. So no challenges at all, no disappointments, no point to being sad. So then what can be the result? Dull. So his life became very dull, very boring. He was utterly bored with all kinds of luxuries. And later on, some incidents happened. And after that, one day, he left the palace. And his father and stepmother was crying and crying and crying. They told him not to leave the palace, not to renounce. But not his wife. She didn't cry. She may knew. Anyhow, he didn't care about his parents' demands. He left the palace. And he became a monk. So no sensual pleasures at all now. Very hard life. But he didn't know what to do. Therefore, he was looking for some spiritual teachers. And he went to one of the teachers called Alara Kalama, one of the greatest rishis or spiritual masters. And he asked, "Dear master, what are you teaching? And what's your aim?" Then this master, Alara Kalama, or Yogi Alara Kalama, he said, "I am teaching you to achieve one of the highest consciousness. It is called, the Pali word is Akinchanyayatana, that means nothingness, emptiness." And then now he's a monk. So this monk Gautama was thinking, he was reflecting on two aspects. The first aspect is about the teacher. Yes, he said he's teaching, he's showing us the path for this one of the very subtle conscious status called nothingness or emptiness. And does he really experience this? Does he in this state of consciousness? And after doing some kind of examinations, yes, this monk Gautama was realizing, yes, he's not just an intellectual scholar, very experienced yogi. And the second reflection was how he became such a great yogi, because he has these 5 inner powers. The first one called confidence or faith, saddha or shraddha. The second one is virya or virya or effort or energy. And the third one is sati or smriti, mindfulness or awareness. And the fourth one is samadhi, inner tranquility or composed mind. And the fourth one is panya or prajna or insightful thoughts. Because of those 5 inner powers, he could be able to attain to such a high level. So, do I have these 5 inner powers? So, he was doing some inner investigation on himself, and after that he realized, yes, I do have those 5 inner powers. And then he started to follow the teachings and practice meditation under Yogi Alarakalam. And within a short period of time, this monk Gautama also was able to achieve that deep and subtle inner consciousness called nothingness or emptiness or akinchanyayatana. And my dear friends, after that, he went to see the teacher and asked what else to do. Then the teacher said, nothing else. Now we are same. Now we are same. So now what I have to do? Now we can be colleagues. You can also be a teacher in this institute. We can teach together. So see how humble this great yogi Alarakalam, very humble. But this monk Gautama, he said, that is not my aim. That is not my aim. I am not fully satisfied about what I am experiencing now. I am looking for a solution. Not only to solve my problem, to solve the entire human's problem. So then the teacher said, I didn't know anything else. Oh, then I am sorry. Goodbye. So he went to another teacher called Ramaputra Uddaka, and the same story goes. And he helped to monk Gautama to achieve next higher level of consciousness, neither perception, no perception level. That means whether you don't know you have a mind or no mind. And then same request, you can be a teacher here, but Monk Gautama or Monk Siddhartha said that is not my idea, intention. Still, I am not satisfied. So I'm looking for a solution for this dissatisfactoriness. I'm happy, but I am not satisfied. That is the point. And then he left, but he didn't know what to do. And then, therefore, he became an ascetic. And he started to practice those ascetics tradition. According to the literature, there are 3 steps. The first one is moral life, ethical life, and the second one is minimizing whatever he is taking in, food, liquids, and even the breath, minimizing. And the third one is controlling thoughts, controlling the mind, and controlling the emotions. So according to the literature, these are the 3 main aspects of his ascetic practice. And many years he was practicing those ascetic traditions or techniques or exercises. And I highly believe this, that in his ascetic period, he was going through all those Ashtanga yogas, Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara. I am not, I don't know all those things, but I highly believe if anyone is interested in that, then please do the research on this. So he was controlling everything. He was controlling, he was minimizing food, eating, drinking, and even breathing. And he was controlling his emotions. So now he went to the next extreme. In his royal lifetime, he was indulging all kinds of sensual pleasures, but no satisfactoriness, no satisfying experience. And now he went to the other extreme. So before he said yes to each desire, yes to each greediness, but now he said no, 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 no. And finally, he said no to any food, any water, and no to any single breath. And the result was he fell down. He fainted. But his awareness was there. And that awareness says, this is not the path. This is not the path. But he didn't know what to do. But fortunately, then someone offered some payasa, some milk rice, and he went to the river to get a bath. And one of the evenings, he sat down on a tree, under the tree, sorry. But still he didn't know what to do. But then suddenly a memory came to his mind. In his childhood time, he was doing some meditation practice, watching his in and out breathing, watching his breathing. This is very important aspect, my dear friends. he did all kinds of breathing exercises during that his ascetic period life. But this is different. Watching or observing the breath. To control something, you have to be inside of it. Without being an insider, we cannot control. So how much we control things, that much we are going inside of it. If we try to control our anger, we can, but that much we are inside of the anger. So, but now his experience was different. So he became an outsider. He had a lot of joy. And he was practicing this meditation and go deeper and go deeper. And in the midnight, he became an enlightened person. And only after that, he claimed himself as the Buddha. So Buddha is not a family name or given name. It's a title. The literal meaning is one who awakened, one who awakened. So anyone can use this name Buddha, no problem. Anyone can use, but if no dreams, if we are not being part of a dream or dreams made by our greedy mind, only then we can use this word. So after that, for 45 years, he was sharing this message with many others. So the message of joy, the message of joy. Once there was a very beautiful saying, Buddha saying, what is the ultimate wealth? What is the ultimate richness? Usual minds, ordinary minds think sensual pleasures. The ordinary mind doesn't know anything else other than sensual pleasures. Therefore, my dear friends, the ordinary mind is always looking for a sensual pleasures because it thinks that's the happiness. The ordinary mind thinks sensual pleasure is the happiness. Therefore, the ordinary mind does everything to experience different kinds of sensual pleasures. And whenever it can experience a sensual pleasure, then the mind thinks this is the happiness. And dear friends, how much we are wasting, how much time we are wasting, how much money we are wasting, how much energy that we are wasting to buy sensual pleasures. We had to buy it. It doesn't come by itself. We had to buy it. We had to pay for it in advance. And while we are enjoying the sensual pleasure, we had to pay. And after that, we had to pay back. Not only for one time, maybe lifetime, we had to pay. And the second thing is, all kinds of sensual pleasures are depending on others, depending on external things. We had to buy it from the market. We had to borrow it from others. Therefore, it belongs to others. Whenever they want, they can take it back. We cannot keep any single sensual pleasure for as long as we wish. That is not possible. And the third thing is, all of sensual pleasures are changing. So poor ordinary minds, it is always going behind sensual pleasures, and it thinks that is the meaning of life. So the question is, what is the ultimate richness? The Buddha said the ultimate wealth or the richness is contentment. More than in any amount of money. If you can think that you have enough, then you are rich. It doesn't matter how much you have, how much clothes you have, how much friends you have, how much money. Actually, this contentment is not depending on it is not relying on whatever you are having. Sensual pleasure is different, but contentment or satisfactoriness is a skill. It is a skill. It is 100% up to you and me. So, if we think that enough, then in this moment, we feel that we are rich. But if we think we not enough, then we feel that we are poor. We are poor. Whenever this very thought is dominating ourselves, not enough, not enough, not enough, need more and more and more, we feel we are really poor. It doesn't matter how much money is in our pockets or in our bank accounts. Doesn't matter. We don't feel that we are rich. We cannot enjoy life. Whenever we are having this thought, not enough, need more and more demands, then we cannot sleep peacefully. No sleep. We cannot enjoy food, taste of food. The body is not healthy. That very thought creates a hell here and now. It creates poverty. So that's why the Buddha said the ultimate richness is contentment, santuti, santrusti, in Sanskrit, santrusti. Let me share one of the Buddhist stories. Once the Buddha was in nearby Himalayas, the king of mountains in that area, and he was in a deep meditative state or self-retreat, and after he came from that deep meditative state, this very thought aroused in his mind, in his awareness, that what is that thought? Is it possible? Is it possible to rulership? To rulership. Is it possible to governing the world without killing others or without causing others to kill? Without confiscating others or without confiscating or without causing confiscating others? Is it possible to rulership without sorrowing others or causing sorrow others righteously? So whenever this beautiful thought aroused in his awareness, then one got to know about this. That is called Mara. Mara, a deceiver, a tempter. He suddenly appears in front of the Buddha and he said, "Dear Venerable Sir, it is possible. It is possible to rulership the world or rulership without killing others or without forcing others to kill, without confiscating others or forcing others to confiscate, and without sorrowing others and without forcing others to sorrow righteously. It is possible. You could do. So please do it. Stop to guide people for enlightenment. Be a politician. You could do." Then the Buddha asked, "How do you know that I could do it? What's your argument? What is behind it?" Then the Mara said, "You have cultivated these 4 powers: determination, and your mind, and effort, and wisdom. Therefore, you can do all kinds of miracles. If you wish, then this entire Himalaya, the king of mountains, will become a golden mountain, a gold, solid gold. So if you can create a golden mountain, then you can solve all the problems in the world. Then no more problems, no more poverty. And then nobody is doing anything wrong. Then no need to punish anyone." So very logical and very philosophical argument, what the Mara did. But the Buddha said, "No, dear Mara. Even if I made 2 golden mountains like Everest, double, not only for the entire world, for one person, but his or her desire is not saying enough. That means it doesn't work. It doesn't solve humans' problem. The ultimate happiness. Then the next question, according to the first one, what is the ultimate wealth? The contentment. And the next question is, what is the ultimate joy? What is the ultimate happiness? Nibbanam Paraman Sukham. The ultimate happiness is detached from the greedy mind. Detached from the greedy mind. Not being a slave of own greediness. The greediness doesn't know anything about the joy. It doesn't know anything about the ultimate happiness. It doesn't know anything about the supreme blissfulness. It only knows, the greediness only knows sensual pleasures. That's all. So that's why meditation is there. That's why yoga is important. That's why DHYANA. What we are doing by practicing yoga, meditation, or DHYANA, we are being aware on our greedy thoughts. We are being aware. We are not going to say yes or no, because we know this yes and no are two extremes. One is self-indulgence and the other one is self-mortification. Two extremes. So we cannot reach the happiness or the joy or blissfulness by going one of those extremes. That's why the Buddha said his path is middle path. Middle path. Come to the middle. Do not go to any extremes. The path to the happiness. Path to the joy. That means when we walk on this path, walk, and at the end of the journey, yes, happiness is there. The happiness, the ultimate happiness is waiting. Is there, we are here, so we have to walk on this path. And there is another meaning of this middle path. Path to the happiness as well as path of the happiness. Path of the happiness. That means journey itself is joyful. Whenever a thought arises in our mind, whenever an emotion arises in our mind, whatever, negative or positive, doesn't matter. Whenever a greediness occurs in our mind, so we have now three choices. Either we can say yes and being surrendered to that emotion, being surrendered to that greediness, being a slave of that greediness and do whatever that greediness is commanding us, and then that greediness gives us a small amount of sensual pleasure. This is the first choice. The second choice is with ego. With ego, we can say, no, I am not going to surrender to you. I am not doing anything, whatever you say. I want to repress you. I am repressing you. I am controlling you. I am denying you. I am fighting against you. So That is, by doing this also, we can experience some kind of happiness that is very egoistic happiness. But now we have a third choice, the third option, middle path. Just being an outsider to whatever we experience, to whatever is in our mind. We can be an outsider, and it gives a tremendous happiness. It gives us a tremendous joy, because we cannot enjoy the life. We cannot enjoy the life because we are too inside of it. Either by indulging or controlling, by expressing or repressing. We are too much inside of the life, too much inside of emotions. So we are imprisoned. So if you are imprisoned, my dear friends, then how possible to experience the joy of freedom? Joy of freedom. So that is the ultimate happiness in our order to the Buddha's teaching, the joy of freedom. And it is not there, it is here and now. The path is path of the joy of freedom. Not only path to the joy of freedom. The practice is the most joyful thing. This present moment is the most relaxing moment. Therefore, when we come to this middle path, the practice, we have to stay in the present. As you know, the modern society, human society, is suffering so much, mainly because of two emotions. One is depression, and the other one is anxiety. And they are spreading so rapidly, more than the COVID-19. Depression and anxiety. And so many humans are suffering. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Not only physically, not only psychologically, not only emotionally. Altogether. And as you know, depression is related to the past. All the depressed people are living in the past. What happened in the past? Maybe one unpleasant incident happened in the past, and they are still living inside of that past unpleasant incident. And anxiety is related to the future, what is going to be happening. So whenever we are anxious, that means we are in the future. So the middle path gives us a very simple solution to overcome depression and anxiety. Being in the present, here and now. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy. Experience the joy of present. Thank you very much, my dear friends.
Much mercy to you, and thank you, dear sir, for that insight. I think as Dhamma seekers, we all are interested to find this inner happiness, which goes beyond the materialistic world. And I think you gave a beautiful insight today that the ultimate happiness is, you can find the ultimate happiness at this moment, in this present moment, here and now. And it's up to us to understand that, to go beyond our experience, to be an outsider, to find that inner peace. Thanks a lot, dear sir. With that, we come to the end of the Dhamma talk. But the session will continue. You can post your questions in the chat box. Then we can take the questions to the sir. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Until others post questions from your talk, sir, I have a question for you. You said that contentment is when you feel that when you are content with what you have, you are rich. If not, you are poor. I would like to know, sir, when it comes to knowledge, how you become content, like in the terms of knowledge, where's the contentment?
Well, actually, it doesn't go with the knowledge. As I said, it's a skill. It's a wisdom. So if we had to make the decision, for example, what I need for this moment, maybe only one single breath for this moment to live. So rest of everything else is not practically need for this moment. So that's why the meditation is asking us to learn to live from moment to moment. What I need for this moment, what I need for today, what I need for this week. But whenever we are asking our greediness to think about this, then it goes beyond our control. The greediness is starting to think about this, what I need for next 10 years, what I need for next, for my entire life. Therefore, we are accumulating and accumulating and accumulating all kinds of materialistic things. By accumulating things, what we are doing, we make our life busy. So no time to enjoy. No time to enjoy. There's a beautiful ancient story. One saint was there. He was in a remote village, and even the king came to respect to him. And that village is so poor. No school, no hospital, nothing. And then the villagers one day came to visit to this saint, and they said this, "Dear saint, dear sir, we are very poor. We don't have a hospital, no road, and no school for our children. And we are poor. We can't make them by ourselves. But the king is one of your devotees. If you ask your king to do this, of course, definitely he will do it." Then this saint thought, "Oh, why I am not helping to this my devotees?" So one day he went to the palace in the city in Delhi. So he went to the Delhi, to this king's palace, and all the watchers, guardians knows this saint. Therefore, they allowed him to enter into the palace. So he walked quietly into the inner chamber of the palace where the king does all kinds of prayers. So he quietly enters into the inner chamber, and then he saw the king was kneeling down and doing some prayers. So slowly he came close to the king, and only then this saint could hear what the king was saying. The king was speaking to the God, doing all kinds of prayers. By doing all kinds of prayers, the king says, "Dear God, I need more gems, more gold, more pearls, more diamonds. Please, please fulfill my treasures, my treasury." And when the saint heard these prayers, he slowly going back, step back, step back, step back, going back. And suddenly the king, he heard there was a noise, and he was looking back, and he noticed that his teacher was there, and suddenly he stand up and say, "Why are you going back?" Then the saint said, "I came to ask some money to help to my people. But now I realize how poor you are. I thought you are rich, but you are how poor you are. You are also asking more money from the God. That means you are not rich. You cannot help us because you are also helpless." So the answer for your question is the money cannot decide it. There is no amount. It is up to us. It's a skill. So let us learn to say it's enough. When we think it's enough, then it is enough. When we think it's not enough, then not enough. This is the psychology. It is up to these two thoughts, enough or not enough.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you for that detailed explanation about the knowledge and how we can practice it. And also, sir, we have some questions in the chat box now. Let me ask one by one. The next question is, as our topic implies the message of the lotus flower, we have a question: what is the significance of lotus to the realization?
Well, as you know, as you see, that all the Buddha statues, especially sitting or standing Buddha statues, are on a lotus flower. The lotus flower is the seed for Buddha statues. And actually, if we go to the history, before the Buddha statues, and if anybody wants to symbolize Buddha, they just draws a lotus flower. And that was the symbol for the Buddha or the enlightenment. It's a beautiful message. A lotus flower is blooming, is rising from the depth of mud. The depth of mud. Likewise, the Buddha said, likewise, humans bloom in the society of pond. So the society is not pure at all. As the muddy water, impure, it is smelly. But the lotus flower is the symbol for purity. It is so fragrant, so beautiful, no impurity at all. Therefore, you may think that we cannot get into that such a inner purity by living in a society, by associating emotions. We have to go to Himalayas or remote areas to find this inner happiness or for inner awakening. That's not happening. There is no way. Wherever we go with all kinds of psychological garbages. We cannot keep those inner garbages in our houses and go to an ashram as a pure person to meditate. The real garbages are not outside, not in an external dustbins. They are inside of our head. So wherever we go with all kinds of those impurities. So the Buddhist teaching is learn to use them for your inner transformation, like you are making compost. There is no any other way. The message of love is inside of the hatred, the anger. If you want to learn about love, then you have to meditate on the hatred. So all the nutritions for blooming are inside of defilements, emotions. So if you want to arise or awaken as a lotus flower, then meditate on your ordinary emotions. Whatever you experience, they are your teachers. They are your spiritual masters. They are your spiritual guides. There is no any other way. So your life is your practice. Your life is your meditation center. Your life is your meditation. And your life is your meditation technique. So whatever you experience, don't judge them. This is bad, this is good, this is negative, this is positive, this is right, that is wrong. No. Whatever you experience, pay your attention on them. Watch them and see what is the message, what is the lesson is there to be learned. So then next time, whenever we are in the same situation, we can respond or react in a different way. We can come out at least a bit from these muddy emotions, bit by bit, by learning from them. So that is the message.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It's yeah, actually we have so we have 3 more questions. Can we go for that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the next question is, people at the point of their deathbed worries about that they haven't utilized their time with the right scriptures and haven't understood the Dhamma. But Dhamma cannot be understood by a common man too. what are the key steps and things to follow in life? This thought does not come to a person at the end.
Which thought? Sorry.
What are the question is, sir, what are the key steps and things to follow in life? So that we do not worry at the in the deathbed.
Well, very deep and complicated question. Anyhow, we don't need a lot of knowledge or book knowledge for that, because the death doesn't ask this question. Did you read that book? Did you study that subject? No, I don't think so. The death is not going to ask those silly questions. The death is only asking this question, only asking this question. Are you ready to say goodbye? Are you ready to say goodbye to the world? Are you prepared yourself? Are you prepared to say goodbye to your beloved, to your car, to your house, to your properties, to your positions, to your jobs, and to your body? So this is the only question. Are you ready to say goodbye? It doesn't ask, did you read Buddhism or Hinduism or Catholicism or science? No. So, my dear friends, we better to ask this question from ourselves before it will ask by the death. We better to practice this day by day. Today can be the last day. Who knows? Who knows? If today is the last day, then are we going to fight with each other? Are we going to argue with each other? No, we can forgive if we know today is the last day. Who knows? So, we have to practice this. We have to prepare ourselves. We have to train our mind to say goodbye. To say goodbye happily and peacefully. Without creating any conflicts in ourselves and in others. So then, whenever the death asks this question, do you ready to say goodbye? Of course, we can say, yes, we already did it. So no need to repeat it again. We already did it. So on the other way, we have to learn to die before the death. Learn to die before the death. Die to what? Let us learn to die to our attachments. Attachments. Before we are physically dying. Of course, whether we like or not, we have to die. Others have to die. We have to go. So if we can detach from our attachments, only then we can do all kinds of our responsibilities and duties in a relaxed way, in a happy way, and in a peaceful way. Learn to live happily and peacefully. Then we can die happily and peacefully.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that beautiful explanation for that question. And I think it's a very timely explanation you gave us, because nowadays we face this, we see the world, we see it from the world that how people face it unexpectedly. So detach from your attachments before your death would be wonderful. And sir, let me go to the next question. How to let go of disappointments, experience of the past in order to be content?
Well, the first thing we had to understand is past is over. So that's why it's called past. It is past. It is not here anymore. It happened. So past means happened. It was happening, not it is happening. But what happens is, even though it happened physically, but psychologically it is still going on and on and on. So that is one of the psychological talents, to replay the past. And then, of course, again and again and again, we are being disappointed, or we are being angry, or we are being sad, or we are being depressed. Not because of whatever is happening now, but because of whatever happened in the past. So the very first thing is we have to learn to establish ourselves in the present. That we can do with mindful practice. Establish ourselves in the present moment. The present moment is my home. My real home is this moment. I can only live in the present moment. So whenever we are psychologically in the present moment, then the past becomes just a memory, even not an incident. It is like a photo. The entire past becomes the photo album. Whenever we are in the present, then we know I was disappointed. Yesterday I was disappointed because of that happenings. But it is not happening now. Nobody is blaming me now. I'm not losing anything now. So why I am reacting to a photo of yesterday? It is powerless. This photo has not any power at all. This is the first thing. And the second thing, we can do some kind of vipassana or inquiry or investigation. Why I was disappointed? Why I was disappointed? So we have to reflect on our past, what happened in the past. So whenever we start to investigate on the past, then the past becomes a lesson, and we become a learners, a pupil, a student. It's a different relationship. So again, that the message of Lotus. Use all kinds of mistakes, past errors, to enrich yourself by learning. To educate yourself why I was angry, why I was disappointed. We had to ask this question again and again. So then the picture is different. Then the past is not dark at all. The past is not painful at all. The past is not unpleasant at all. Then the past, the entire past, becomes a book of wisdom. We can read page by page, paragraph by paragraph. By reading and by studying, we will become more and more wise. Only then we can say this, we are grateful for our all past errors. We have to be grateful for all the past errors. Otherwise, no way to be mature. No way to be a lotus flower.
Thank you, sir. Let me go to the next question. And sir, I think this one, I feel you have already answered this, but let me ask. I will ask, we have two questions. I will ask them together. The first question is, what we can do if our mind realize that it is in anger? And the second question is, sir, dear sir, practice giving up lead to happiness. Please explain it.
Yeah, well, you are already doing whatever to be done. You know that anger is in the mind. You know. So it's a beautiful thing. If you don't know that the anger is in the mind, then you are in the anger. The anger is all around you. So that means you are an outsider now, because you know the anger is in the mind, not in you. And you are not in the anger either. So it's a great beginning of inner transformation. And then, of course, you know, you can listen to the anger. Now you can listen. You are not a follower of anger. The anger is not a commander of you, but still you can listen. What the anger tells me, what the anger is asking me to do. What do you want to tell me? So pay your full attention. Please learn to open yourself to that anger. Yes, anger tells me to blame to someone, or not to speak with that person, or to beat him over, whatever. So we can listen to all those suggestions. Now, dear friends, they are just suggestions. Before, they are commands. We cannot say no. We cannot say I can't. But now, we are outsiders. There is a distance in between ourselves and the anger. So we can listen to all those suggestions, and then we have a choice. We have the choice to make a decision what we have to do now. What we have to do. So don't hand over this power to make decisions for yourself to the anger or to whatever emotion. Don't hand over it. Then you are free. Then you are safe. And the second question is, yeah, the practice leads to the happiness. That's true. Because there are two kinds of experiences. One is external sensual pleasures. So they are in the outside world. So usual journey is going to the external world to find sensual pleasures. With meditation, it's an inner journey, going inside to discover the inner joy. So we are coming towards ourselves. The very first step is we have to come back to the present moment. So it gives a lot of joy. And whenever we are embracing ourselves, our heart becomes so happy. Because with all those desires, we are away from the heart. Really, we didn't know what is the heart wish or heart wishes. What are the heart wishes? We don't know. We only follow our greedy minds and social tempters. And now, whenever we come close to us, only then we can listen to our heart. So whenever we come closer to ourselves, the heart becomes happy. So we can experience the joy of heart as well. And if you go further, of course, then we can detach from our emotions. Emotions are there. Now we are not going to fight with them. We are not going to repress them. We are not going to suppress them. We are not going to deny them. But we can detach from them by observing. And it gives us the joy of freedom, the joy of liberation. So in this way, my dear friends, there are a lot of steps to lead or to experience or to achieve the happiness, different levels of happiness.
Thank you, sir. With that, let me ask the last question for the day. Can you please explain Sabba Papassa Akaranang Kusalassa Upasampada?
Theoretical question anyhow. It's one of the very famous verses of Dhammapada. One of the Buddha's teachings. And literal meaning is Sabba Papa Sakarana, not doing any unwholesome deeds, actions. Don't do any unwholesome actions. Kusalassa upasampada, cultivate inner skills. Plant and cultivate inner skills. Sachitta pariyodapanam, purify own mind. Etang buddhana sasanam This is the guidance of all Buddhas, not only the present Buddha, who was in the future and who will be in the past. This is the message of all the Buddhas. Purify your own mind, plant and cultivate inner skills, and don't do any unwholesome actions.
Thank you, sir. Actually, to follow the Dhamma path, we always need a guidance from our teachers, and much merits to you, sir, for sharing your knowledge, your experience with us, so that we also can follow the path to realize the ultimate happiness. With that, we come to the end of our DHYANA program for the Vesak Poya Day, and DHYANA will continue every month, day prior to the Poya Day. So we invite you all to join us in our future sessions as well. And the session will be over now, but we will have a happy chat with our sir. So if you like, you can remain in the meeting. And I hope you will celebrate Vesak in a very meaningful way. We are at the dawn of the Vesak Poya, and let us wish that Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhitatta, may all the living beings be happy and free from the suffering. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Ahmad.
Hello everyone, so we are back in the happy chat. I think, do we have Vyasa sir with us, the head of our center. Vyasa sir. We can't hear you, sir. You are muted. Okay, I think we have to unmute.
Greetings to you, sir. And thank you very much for that very wonderful sessions, and also a very practical explanation for all the questions, I think, which has been there. I think we also have Venerable, I think this should be a time for them to speak very comfortably. I think we have Claudia, and I think we have Venerable Dhamma. So please make yourself comfortable to speak to Sir. So you can unmute yourself, Claudia. And if you want to say something, you are welcome to say. This is the time for you all. Venerable, you like to say something, you are welcome. So all those who are in the video on mode, you are welcome to speak.
Yeah, my gratitude for an inspiring talk, but it's really wonderful to have it on the eve before Vesak. So